Oh, guys. Welcome to another episode of Altcoins Anonymous, everyone. This is going to be a short one. There's nothing to fucking talk about. Like, Bitcoin's fucking dead, everybody. I don't know if you realize, but Bitcoin has died. It's dead, everybody. Ethereum is king, motherfuckers. Vitalik is God. Fuck you. Fuck you, everybody. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of crazy shit, but what I just read is probably the most interesting. This is probably about a day old. And so, therefore irrelevant by the time I actually even release this episode. But apparently, Bitcoin is causing time travel. There is I just read this on Twitter, and I'm late, but apparently so much energy is being sucked out of the European power grid that it's changing the frequency of the electricity current, and that's the way that time is determined on wall clocks, or not wall clocks, but clocks that are plugged into the power grid. So I guess like a normal clock, like on your phone, actually I guess your phone probably uses Wi-Fi. I guess battery clocks, like a Timex or some type of shitty wristwatch that's not a Apple Watch, they use a quartz thing to like measure something, and then that determines time. But clocks that plug into the wall measure the frequency of the current. And because so much power is being used off the grid, or not, and then it's not accounted for, and there's not being more energy put into the grid because it's basically electricity that's being stolen. And we all know why that's being stolen, guys. Let's be fucking serious. But apparently so much electricity is being stolen off the grid and unaccounted for that it's actually lowering the frequency of the electrical grid in Europe, and therefore it's slowing clocks down. So like your iPhone will say like 11:50, and your like microwave will say like 11:47 or something like that. I think that's interesting. I guess I'll link the tweet in the description below, but I think that's like that's what inspired me to write this episode, is that because no one also mentioned it. I saw it. It was a friend of Gary Newman. Gary Newman is the creator of Gary's Mod and Rust, those excellent video game masterpieces. But it was just showed up on my Twitter feed. So probably everybody already knows about this, and I'm late to the game, but whatever. I just wanted to call the name of the episode Bitcoin Time Travel, and then I figured I'd talk about it. But aside from that, nothing's going on. Like, I'm going to give you guys a GPU update. Let's see. So NVIDIA, there was some leaked information that NVIDIA was coming out with new graphics cards in March, and some of us within the graphics community, the GPU purchasing community, the altcoin shitcoin miners may have or may have not sold graphics cards back on eBay because we're anticipating new cards, even though it would go completely against the product mapping. But you really don't know with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is like, I wish I bought some NVIDIA stock, because as far as people who have like a foot in the game, I think they're one step ahead of Bitmain, which is ironic. I think they decided a long time ago that Bitcoin wasn't going to be the numero uno coin. And let me also backtrack here. I'm also joking when I say Ethereum's like number one. Like, that's a whole nother debate at this point. I don't think Bitcoin and Ethereum are the same thing. And that's funny, too, because I've been always arguing, no, Bitcoin and Ethereum are the same thing. I mean, they really are in functionality, but they're not. They're two different services that achieve very similar purposes, but they are two entirely separate things. Ethereum is not a decentralized database. It uses decentralized technology, but it is not decentralized. And for a lot of people, that is a benefit. And I'm very curious to what happens with this EIP. I don't know if there's been any update on this. I haven't really been following it. I heard about it on Gensense World, and then I looked it up on GitHub just to double check everything. I should actually go double check the number. It might be like EIP 794 or something. I don't know. I don't even know if there's 700 of them, but whatever. So Ethereum essentially is going to allow you to apply to regain funds that were lost on the blockchain. So I guess if you sent Ethereum to an address that didn't exist, or if you sent Ethereum with a command that sent it off into fucking space somewhere, like many of us may or may not have done in the past, you can actually apply to have them correct that on the chain or something like that. Maybe for a fee or whatever, but I don't care. I'm all about that right now. I'm like totally down with that idea. Ethereum was my test net, and I made errors on that. So I'd like to be I'd like those errors to be accounted for, and I'd like to get my monies back. Dear Vitalik, I'd like my monies back. Thank you very much. Yours truly is. I got off topic here, but I was talking about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is releasing 2 graphics cards in June. No, sorry. They're coming out with 2 separate architectures. One is Turing, which this is like a fucking giveaway. Like, everybody heard Turing and they were like, oh, they're coming out with 2 separate GPUs. They're not coming out with 2 separate GPUs. Turing is the new class of GPU. It goes Maxwell, then Pascal, then Turing. Also, on my previous episode, I kept saying Vega, and I meant to say Volta. Volta is going to be like their HTPC like server class hardware, and then the new one for that is going to be called Ampere. I think, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm assuming. I didn't actually look up how it's pronounced, and I'm not familiar with the word aside from that, or if it's a last name. But so Ampere is coming out after Volta. I don't know. I feel so stupid not knowing what that means, what that word is a reference to. But whatever. I'm so stupid. Anyway, so it's going to be Ampere and Turing at the same time. They're going to be 2 separate classes of cards that are coming out. 2 separate architectures, I guess you can consider it like that. And I'm not against this. Like, I'm very much, look, NVIDIA is embracing cryptocurrency, and I'm okay with that. There's no evidence that they're coming out with 2 separate cards, one for GPU mining and one for gaming, or one that's even better at GPU mining than gaming, but it does both. There's no evidence for that yet, and nor do I think that they're going to do that. I think you're going to essentially see the same pattern that's been going on, except that it is going to be the newer architecture implemented on the NVIDIA graphics cards, which is supposed to be like a 3D way of problem solving as opposed to like a 2-dimensional way of problem solving. I don't know if that's the best way to explain it, but there's been like numerous slides about how this is going to be this architecture is going to blow shit out of the water. And you've already seen basically what it can do, because I think Volta uses that architecture already. So Volta, I think, is the predecessor to Ampere. And then there is going to, I think the new Volta is going to be essentially what people are calling this like Ethereum miner for NVIDIA. And it's really not an Ethereum miner. It's just going to be the server class hardware. And if it's server class hardware, there's going to be a huge premium on it. So it's not really going to make sense to really mine on it unless you're looking at that longevity, really making a huge investment. For example, you can mine probably 3 or 4 times the amount of like let's say like a mid-range GPU on the Vegas, the new NVIDIA Vega card. I think that might be, maybe it's 5 or 6, I don't know, but it's, it costs a lot more. It costs an upwards of 6, 7, 8 times the amount. So there's the rate of return, or the rate of return on investment is not very high. Whereas that's why you see there was a huge depletion in like the 1060 and like the 1050. Even the 1050, like the 1050s were selling. GTX 1050, it's like a $150 graphics card. It actually went up because there was such a demand for graphics cards that and also other technology that uses solid state stuff, that the memory chips, it wasn't the actual the graphic processing unit that went up in cost for manufacturers. It was the memory, and that's because no one's making HDDR5 memory anymore. People are making HDDR6, or not H, but just GDDR6 memory now. And so there's going to be a market depletion in that. Now, there was also some rumors of an Ethereum miner made by, or I guess it's not a rumor, by Bitmain, and that's going to be using GDDR3 memory. So I guess some company has a surplus of that shitty stuff. Probably whoever was, I bet you some Raspberry Pi manufacturer or something like that was going to make like an embedded shitty board or something, and they were like, fuck this is stupid, and then they just sold Bitmain all their shitty memory. But yeah, so that's what's going on with, at least the speculation is that it's probably going to be the GTX 2000 series because it's using the newer architecture, but I think the newer architecture is based basically on what Volta is. Like I said before, I kept saying Vega in my previous episode, but Vega is actually the technology that AMD uses. And no, honestly, I'm not really concerned with AMD at this point. AMD has fucked up a couple of times. No one really notices this, but they tried to take sides with Ethereum or with Monero, and Monero is like, fuck you guys. We don't give a fuck about you. Don't make an ASIC for us because we're just going to make it so it doesn't use kryptonite anymore. And that's already on the... In fact, I think it's supposed to change this month. I think they were supposed to change the kryptonite algorithm at some point soon. I'd love to start fucking mining it. Make it so it's not like AMD specific because most of the market share is not AMD, guys. So use something that NVIDIA does better. Don't listen to what I'm saying, but also listen to exactly what I just said. Oh shit, I just realized... I'm waiting for someone to come in, and my doorbell might not be on. I forgot what I was saying now because I remembered I have to turn on my intercom. What the damn? What the hell was I saying? Oh, Ethereum. I don't remember what the hell I was just saying 2 seconds ago. Sorry. Jesus Christ, mate. You bloody head is coming out. Can't even understand what you're saying anymore because the blood of the brain is coming out. Really don't know what I'm saying, but... Oh, I don't mind Ethereum or if kryptonite swapping over to NVIDIA or an NVIDIA favored algorithm, but that's just my personal opinion. But okay, so what happened was that AMD said that, hey guys, maybe our graphics cards aren't great for graphics processing, but have you tried them with Ethereum or with kryptonite mining, with mining Monero? Because they are fucking fantastic at that. And then a month later, and this is after Fluffy Pony was like, we're going to crack any ASIC. We're just going to change the algorithm. A month later, they decided to partner up with the Ethereum Foundation. And this is after somebody else said that they were going to be doing something with the Ethereum Foundation. Look, there's a lot of companies that are trying to use Ethereum. A lot of big companies. I don't think NVIDIA came out and said anything about Ethereum. But when the complete Turing, when their new product model is codenamed Turing, and the only Turing complete cryptocurrency is Ethereum, you have some speculations. But there is another company that's working with them, and I can't think of it now, but then there's also Oracle that's using blockchain technology. They're selling this to corporations. They're selling tools to incorporate blockchain technology into your own applications and databases or whatever your fucking workflow is or whatever the hell you're doing with your company. They're implementing tools on their cloud services that you can basically develop your own Ethereum tokens. Damn, there's one other company that said that they're doing Ethereum. Bitmain also said that they're doing Ethereum. I don't know if that's who I was counting. And then I feel like there's another company. But whatever. The point is that all these companies are trying to side up with Ethereum. And the pump is real. Now, how long is this going to last? I really don't know. Right now, I feel bad for anybody who purchased a bunch of graphics cards in the past couple months. Ethereum price is coming down, plus Bitcoin price is going back up. That's what the world deserves. It might not be what they want, but that's what they deserve. And Monero's also going up. Also, there's some argument that Bitcoin ASIC, like people are starting to talk about how they want to switch the Bitcoin algorithm. I'm all about that. I've been talking about that forever. I don't understand what the big fucking deal is. Like, just swap it. Just swap it. Like, why is it a fucking problem? You think your network's not going to be secure enough? I doubt it. People are going to say, well, they're just going to create ASICs for it. Well, then swap it again, fuckface. Okay? Like, I think that's the answer. Keep changing the algorithm. Stop fucking with me on this shit. Change it again. I don't care about botnets. Okay? Let's improve computer security as a result of botnets. How about that? Let's make it so computers are not vulnerable, and people aren't vulnerable to botnets, and make it so that there's laws against botnetting or something. Obviously, you're not going to be able to regulate cryptocurrency, but you know what I mean? Like, it's maybe you're not allowed to fucking use ads for cryptocurrency mining or whatever. Maybe you're not allowed to have ICO. I'm not into regulating what people should or shouldn't buy, but I do think that this is the wild, wild west, and that most of it is just scams at this point. I mean, we there are no good applications of Bitcoin. So, like, any application of Bitcoin that people are purporting to use is generally a scam, because they just either don't understand blockchain technology that well, or don't realize, or think that the customer just doesn't realize enough about blockchain that they can make money off them, which I think it is a combination of the two. It's just people, I think there are some really interesting projects out there, but also I think that over time they all become tainted by the realization that in order to be a successful project, you don't need to actually have good technology or good code. You just need to have a lot of money that people give you. So I think people fall into that pretty quickly when they do have a good idea and they just want to raise ICO token funds. And now we see like the reciprocity of that with the United States government. So I'm not against that. I think that it's great, because this is stupid. Like, this is all stupid shit. And like, it doesn't matter that there's not one person that we have to focus on. Like, just because it's a decentralized technology doesn't mean that everybody's fucking innocent. Like, you should take responsibilities for the projects that you're enacting on, whether or not you consider it a joke or not. So, I'm getting all off topic here, but I'm very excited to see how the mining market changes. I'm going to assume that once the new GPUs by NVIDIA are released, also, I don't really know what's going on with AMD. Like, AMD's fucking like shitting their pants all day long. Like, they aren't. I'm sure the new GPUs, if they do come out with them, are going to be great, especially for like shitcoin mining. But they're not going to be able, like, they're not going to be able to compete, really. I think not this year. Not with NVIDIA. They're going to come out with a very, very cheap card. If that, it's probably just going to be a redo of their old cards. Maybe a little bit faster, a little bit better printing process of the silicon, and maybe using HDDR, or sorry, I keep saying H, but it's just GDDR6 memory on them. I don't, or maybe even HBM2 or whatever. I don't really see an architecture change coming from AMD. They're not really known for doing that. Although, maybe I did read that they were cutting down the chip size. They may be using a smaller process now for printing their silicon on the new GPUs. I forget. I haven't looked at the product plan in a few days, months, weeks, something like that. Somewhere in between all three of those types of ranges. But yeah, so AMD, I would say sell their stock. NVIDIA stock, I would say hold on until about December, when you know that the price has crashed, and then we're going to have the whole 2-year cycle thing again, because they're not going to, like, AMD or Intel will come out with like the next version of the same technology, which is just going to be like the TI version of like the 2080 or whatever the hell it's coming out next year. It's apparently they're not going to be called 1180s and 1170s. It's going to be called the 2080s and 2070s. And so you're going to see like the 2070 Ti next year. And and the 2080 Ti. Now I don't know if that's 100% a fact. That's just speculation right now, but it's because there's such a drastic change in the actual performance of the chips that they're just calling it like a next generation, which I'm also not against. Specifically right around this time, like this time in cryptocurrency, like people are all up in arms trying to buy there's the secondary market right now. I resold my graphics cards, right? Like I haven't really been streaming lately, so like there's no reason for me to kind of like have fucking two 1080 Ti's playing Overwatch and I'm not streaming or anything like that. So I was like, okay, enough of that shit. Let's hold off for a bit. I also wasn't doing a lot of mining. To be honest, like I like mining and I do it for very much just like a hobby purpose. Like I do not have huge miners. I have at some points, and I'm very much considering doing it again very soon, specifically with this new architecture speculation that's coming from NVIDIA. I do think that now is going to be a great time to build some miners. Now that we've all kind of formulated the plan and how all this stuff works. But there's still some things in mining itself that don't make sense. But like that's all philosophical shit. But I think we're approaching like more of the realm that I'm comfortable with as far as like proof of work being distributed by mining hardware. Like I like the fact that we're not making new GPUs just for mining, or we're not making new ASICs just for mining. I like the fact that the new architecture that NVIDIA releases also seems to be the best possible job for these random cryptocurrency altcoins, essentially. And I think that as long as Intel kind of keeps that business model going, they're going to be the winners. AMD made a bet with Kryptonite. Kryptonite immediately went, hey, fuck you. Fluffy Pony said, hey, fuck you, we're not doing that. And then within the month, they switched to Ethereum. Ethereum from day one, not day one, but whatever, year 2 or whatever it was, said that they're going to be swapping over to proof of stake. It doesn't look like proof of stake is going to occur, guys. I think if proof of stake was going to occur, you wouldn't have seen Bitmain decide to make ASICs. The research and development probably cost a lot of money. So for them to want to do that would have to mean that they have sufficient evidence that there's no reason proof of stake is going to be implemented. So I don't think proof of stake is coming anytime soon. Oh, Mimblewimble, which also I forgot what it does at this point. But there's going to be a Mimblewimble meetup that I'm going to be going to in a couple days or a couple weeks. Apparently it was supposed to be like last week, but there's going to be a Mimblewimble meetup, I think on the 20-something in New York City. So if anybody's going to be there, definitely say hi. I won't know anybody. But if you are going to be there and you know who I am, definitely hit me up in one of the Telegram channels or whatever, because I'd love to meet you. I'd love to meet you and say hi and say, hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah. What else? I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. ICOs are dead. Also, the government's going to kill all of them. If you've ever made one, they're going to kill you. And the new graphic technology is here. The market is thirsty. They want graphics cards still. The people are looking for any way they possibly can to crunch these fucking algorithms. If you bought a GPU 2 years ago, you can now sell it for the exact same price or more that you originally purchased it at. Very interesting things going on in cryptocurrency and the hardware that's used to mine it. I'm excited about the new stuff coming out. I can't wait for June. I really wanted to go to CES or whatever it is. Not CES. CES already happened like in February or whatever. Computex. I was supposed to go to that with some people, and I don't think I'm going to be doing that now. But it would have been really cool to do that because you definitely would have been seeing some cool shit out there. This is probably my worst episode ever. This is more just an update, and I really hope people don't listen to this. And but I've been wanting to make content, but like I don't know what to fucking do. You know, it'd be great if people like ask me things that they wanted me to like talk about. That doesn't necessarily 100% make sense, but like, look, my opinion doesn't mean anything in the Bitcoin community. I know a little bit about little things here and there, but like, really, it's just supposed to entertain. So like, I don't know. What else should I talk about, guys? I'm running out of topics. I don't know what the hell's going on with bit by bit. So this is like all I'm doing as far as content creation in Bitcoin right now. I really wanted to do this. I think I want to start doing it like in a live video chat type of way. Because right now I'm just talking into my phone. And I'm talking into it like on speakerphone too. It's not even like the best quality, but for some reason like I like that. I think it's better to record these in a very like candid way. I don't really like the idea of doing a heavy amount of production or anything, or even like adding music or anything to that, anything of that nature. Just because it takes away. Like, this is an experience, guys. I'm trying to like convey an experience to you guys. And hopefully it translates. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. Okay, I'm literally just rambling right now. But that's it. I got nothing else to say, so I'm just gonna rambling. If you guys really enjoy the show, check me out on iTunes. Give me not 1 star. Give me 5 fucking stars, because I want to have other people listening to this content and be like, wow, this is. Let them give me 1 star. But I need to get people to start listening to the show. So pump my stuff, guys. Tell your friends and family. Check out Altcoins Anonymous. Say, hey, you guys don't know anything about Bitcoin? I got a really good resource for you. Check out Altcoins Anonymous. And that's the way to know about it, baby. That's how you make the money, baby. That's how we do it. That's how I'm getting the money right now. I've been listening to Altcoins Anonymous all day buying GPUs, and guess what? I'm a millionaire now. Tell everybody about it. Support the show, guys, because you know what? These ideas don't come for free, all right? I need you guys to sign up on my Patreon and go give me all your money. So I can do episodes. So I can do weekly episodes. I need a new green screen. I need a new studio. I need a new assistant. I need new computers. I need new graphics cards. So guys, send it in, baby. Send it in. Send in the money. That's it, guys. No, to be honest, no, seriously, I am. I would like other people to hear how stupid I am, and also. Not that anybody listens to this, but if you do listen to this, I'm actually really curious if people are interested in me maintaining the SoundCloud. I don't do that, but I don't know if I should or shouldn't, because I'm not really like a voice that needs to be heard. And so I don't really want to spend the $10 a year on a fucking SoundCloud account just to see that 36 people have listened to all of my episodes in total. I don't know if I want to even feel that bad about myself. But that's it. Okay, everybody. Don't forget, tell your friends and family to start listening to my show, or else that's it. It's over. And don't forget to go to moneroapparel.com and buy Carlos Matos t-shirts. What am I gonna do? Buy that t-shirt, everybody. Okay, I'm out of here, motherfuckers. Thank you so much for listening. This has been another delicious episode of Altcoins Anonymous, and I'm out of here, guys. Bonsoir.